Hola a todos, bienvenidos una vez más a Lili sin Barreras. Son las 7 de la noche, hoy es lunes y estamos compartiendo este espacio ahora en las noches todos los lunes. Welcome to Lili sin Barreras, Lili without barriers. Every Monday at 7 o'clock, we continue to spend this time with you in intimate space where we can talk about things that matter to us. Topics that may challenge us at times, and topics that may question where we are, and others that will make us really happy and excited. We are looking at changes in our lives. We are looking at the holidays. This pandemic is still covering over us. And I'm going to give you guys a minute or so you can join us. Today we do start, and I do want to share with you that although there are many people out there still saying that COVID is not as bad as it is, and that we have nothing to be worried about or concerned. I must tell you that over and over, the numbers keep rising up, and those are the numbers that we hear about. Those are not the numbers that we don't know about. So that said, let's be cautious. Let's be very, very mindful of what we're doing. I have a heart today, a heavy heart today. The picture that you see on screen of this beautiful soul, Tina Marie, activist in the community, loving everybody, giving everybody a space and an opportunity. Lady Flav is how many people knew her, took out of her pocket all the time to provide for kids, to not forget for a second that our life is only better when we share with others. We received the sad news. I received it yesterday that Tina has been called to the higher heaven. And I cannot think of a person that gave so much without ever thinking about the cost to her. May it have been money or time or the imposition in her life or the pressures. And that's actually how I met her. I got to be a guest speaker at one of her events, and she was super excited. And then I was an awardee in one of her events, and I could not feel more honored. Today, many of us are trying to keep our hearts warm with the love of others. We pray that her family, her husband, her children receive all the love that God has, and that we can all pray. Her departure was not one that we expected. This was another victim of coronavirus. So, Tina, this one is for you today. We have a wonderful guest that's going to talk to us about how to live in gratitude. But Tina was a great example of doing exactly that, of living in gratitude, of being able to tell others that you mattered, you always mattered. And never in a million years did I think, from her posting a couple of days ago to receiving the message yesterday. So Tina, the heavens must be singing as they received an angel. And then for all of you who still think that this is not real and that it was not going to hit you because you're young, because you don't have any medical conditions, because X, Y, or Z, please look at this beautiful face, which is one of the many. This one has hit home for many of us who work in the community of faith, and the community of activists. So Tina, we love you. We love you and your family. And I know there's not a sister out there or brother who's come across you that would not agree when we say, today the heavens sing. With that said, we will continue to send our love, and I ask you for prayers for her and her family. We love you, T. We will continue our show, and we will bring on our guests very soon. But I must tell you that there are many people in the world who are always willing to do magical things. But there's certain people that actually touch your heart. And this particular woman that I have invited to be a guest is someone that I'll talk about her. She's in our waiting room, so I'll talk about her like she can't hear me, but she can actually hear me. Hola, Angélica, Dios te bendiga. Hablaremos de Honduras también, Angélica. So we're gonna English and Spanish. Marisol can do that, and I know our audience can do that as well. And if you can't, hang in there. We can do it for you. We'll walk you through it. But this woman who I'm about to interview or talk to, because more in Lily Sin Barreras, we talk, is a woman who I met at a conference. Thank God that Pastor Michelle Mercado Ruiz was brave enough to invite this crazy woman to, meaning me. And I had no idea what I was going to bump into, but I have named this woman Sunshine, because there is no way that you can be in her presence and not feel like the sun is shining on you. Her smile, but do not be fooled. This is not a journey without woundology. So, Angélica, con nosotros hoy está una mujer que yo quiero mucho, se llama Marisol Wilk. Marisol es puertorriqueña, es bilingüe. Marisol ha tenido una historia increíble y yo le llamo a ella el sol, porque ella de verdad cuando estás con ella te sientes que el sol te está acariciando. So, vamos a traer a nuestra invitada para que comparta espacio con nosotros. Ahí estás. Hola, Marisol.
Hola, Lily, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien.
How's it going?
It's great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm honored to have you on the show. I'm honored that you said yes.
It was for a time like this, Lily.
You think?
I know.
You see, you guys, ya se está riendo, no lo dice nada, y la mujer empieza a reírse. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Marisol,
yes.
When I met you, and I'm going back and forth so people get a chance to see you quite a bit, which I think it's important. Tell us where you are right now.
Okay, so I am right here in the kitchen area.
In your kitchen.
In my kitchen. I had to take my dogs upstairs because they're Chihuahuas and they're barkers. So I said, okay, sister, take care of them for tonight.
So, sister, the one taking care of the bow wows?
Yeah, she said, I brought one. Then I said, I got to bring you the other one. She's like, are you kidding me? 1 hour, sis, 1 hour.
Well, we can't guarantee that, but here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. And let's, before our guest actually physically joins us in the two-way stream, I just want you all to know that Marisol is going to talk to us a little bit about her journey and how does she keep herself healthy and willing and these times that are so difficult for many, 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 many of us. So you'll see us go back and forth. And Marisol, who are you?
Marisol Wilk, una muchacha que le gusta la vida, le gusta el Señor, le gusta vivir.
Tell us more.
Me gustan personas.
¿Te gustan las personas?
Ay, sí, todo el mundo.
¿Todo el mundo te gusta?
Todo, bueno y malo. I see the best of them.
¿En serio?
De verdad. I see the best on everybody.
Tell us about your story.
Okay, my story. Okay, when we talk about gratitude, it's so funny because last week when I shared with you, Lily, can we change the topic? You know, about talking about gratitude and thankfulness. Mm-hmm. And you said yes. And I'm like, okay. And where does it start? Gratitude with me. And I said, Lord, gratitude starts in the cross, Lily. It was his love. It was his love that he poured in that cross for me and you, Lily, for all of us. It's a love that you can't explain. It's unconditional. And just looking at that cross and seeing what God did for me and you, that he sent his son, his only begotten son, to die for us so we can have eternal life, we can have a relationship with him. That's my start. That's my foundation of why I have such gratitude. When I think of gratitude, it's like you don't deserve it. And what he
really?
Yeah, when he did that, that was the start of my foundation with God. But 3 years ago is when it hit home, when it really brought it to such a deep core. And
So
that,
before we go there, Marisol,
okay.
so, para que todo el mundo entienda, Marisol nos está hablando de su amor por Dios, de su creencia por la voluntad de Dios. Pero Marisol, eso no nace de la noche a la mañana.
No.
That
Eso,
doesn't happen like that. Although people like to lie to you and go, oh, I was born this way. I don't think so.
I don't think so, Lily. It doesn't happen overnight. You know,
Agree.
with my journey is, you know, again, brokenness, wounded, hurts and pains. You know, I came from a background of Catholic, you know, my family was Catholic, but we used to go to church just here and there for Easter and, you know, Christmas and all that. But I didn't find the Lord till 22 years ago. And that was through a brokenness from a separation back in Arizona. So that came to a place when I couldn't do it. I was desperate. I was lost. You know, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. And that was my journey then when I said, okay, Lord, I need you. I'm lost. I'm desperate. And I remember my boss at that time, he's a Christian. And to this day, he is in Arizona. And he used to invite me to go to church. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Please don't press church on me. Please. And this is reality, right? I love your show because you're real, you're raw, and this is it. Please, I don't want to hear about that right now. Well, guess what? That time came, I said, I would like to go to church with you. And he said, okay. And I went to church, and I'll never forget that. I knew that I was going there expecting something. And when I went in and I heard the pastor just, you know, preach a message, well, guess what? It hit home. And when it hit home, I knew after that service was done, I was in that altar and said, okay, I need you. I'm lost. I'm desperate. I need you to come and change me. Well, guess what? That was the beginning of a journey 22 years ago.
So I wanna clarify para todos ustedes, Angélica, tú que estás con nosotros. De hecho, vamos a hacer una pausa y para todos ustedes, no estamos hablando de religión. Aquí habemos muchísimos que practicamos en casas de fe diferente. Y Marisol sabe que eso es muy cierto porque yo pertenezco a la comunidad de fe, pero regocijo en la comunidad católica. Eso no nos ha parado para nada. Con nosotros está Angélica, que lamentablemente, señoras y señores, ha perdido su hermana en el huracán horrendo que hubo en Honduras. So we have right now someone who's watching us. Her name is Angélica. Good vibes need to be sent to her. Angélica has lost her sister and everything that they had in Honduras. And we'll do another show, which is really not a show, but an invitation to find how many of us really believe, like we believe, that we can get together and do something together. So vamos a darle la bienvenida a la pastora Michelle Mercado Ruiz, my cool pastora. Angélica, bienvenida. Dios te bendiga, mi amor. Rebecca Slater is with us. Hola, Carmencita. Okay, Julia Chacón, Dios te bendiga. A relationship with God the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Marisol.
Okay.
Tell me who's Marisol. Who's, if somebody would say to you, who's Marisol 10 years ago, what would you say?
10 years ago. Let me see. Loving, caring, team player, like to see others succeed, a go-getter. 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago. Family, love pets, and just encouraging, a motivator. So that's, you know, there's a lot. Loving, Lord, there's so much about myself. Giving.
I love that about you, Marisol. One of the many things that I love about you is your heart. But let's not forget that our conversation today is your heart got broken.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important for us. We're talking about gratitude, but one gets to gratitude almost when you're holding on to your nails, scratching, trying to keep it together and wondering if Jesus could write a memo. I'm still advocating for memos, right? But we have to not walk in faith, right? Then we would have that memo that says at 3:00 your life would be better. Hang in there. What happened, Marisol?
Okay, 3 years ago is where I hit rock bottom. 3 years ago, I came to a place, I had to surrender. Lily, a lot of times we want to control things, right?
Ay, queremos controlar todo el tiempo, todo el tiempo. Yes, of course.
We want to control, we want to make sure things happen the way we want it. Everybody's fine, this and that. Well, guess what? Life doesn't work like that. It's a perfection. You're trying to keep it all together. Okay. It's a big facade. Sometimes we put, my smile covered a lot of hurts in my past. People don't see a smile. And I remember somebody saying to me back like 15 years ago and said, it's okay to remove that mask. It's okay not to smile. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't feel like smiling today. So 3 years ago, I started that journey when I was in a dark place. I was involved in a marriage. It wasn't healthy. At that time, I kept seeking the Lord for direction, different things. But when you're in the midst of it, Lily, you know what? People could tell you anything. But until you see it and you come out of it, you're blinded. You're deceived. You're so clouded. All I knew is I kept seeking the Lord. I kept going to church. I still believed. I still reading the Bible. But guess what? It's my relationship with him. I couldn't do it for that other person. All I could do was pray. And I was carrying the whole load, baggage and baggage. And there you go. You kept going. I was existing. That's all I was doing.
Oh, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Nugget. She dropped the golden nugget. I was existing.
Yeah.
Tantas de nosotras o nosotros sobrevivimos, existimos, pero la calidad de vida, ese dulce que trae la vida, uno no lo siente. So uno camina por la vida como un robot, right? You're just robotic about it. Until you find that place that you go, wait a minute, I got an odd peace right now. It's almost scary, right? When you get that peace.
Very scary, Lily. It was to a point. And sometimes we, as women, we're scared to reach out. We're scared to talk about our business and share. Listen, we got to use wisdom and discernment. Okay. Absolutely. And sometimes we close ourselves out and we might have one or two friends. But guess what? There's times when we need to get out of that too. And go to somebody in leadership or your pastor or somebody in a different, whatever it is, counsel, whatever it is. Okay. You need to talk to someone. You cannot isolate yourself. And that's a big thing. And a lot of times we're scared, we're embarrassed. We're going to reach out. Everybody sees us that we all got it together. Well, guess what? I didn't have it together. People knew because I was honest. I went to leadership and I knew for people to pray for me, and pray for my partner, my ex, and all that stuff. But again, at the end of the day, it came to a place that I needed to make a decision. And it got so ugly that I said to the Lord, okay, either you got to do something. And you know what? We put idols in our life. We put people, things, jobs, money before God. And I had come to a place that my marriage was an idol to me.
Ooh, back up. Woo, this is hot. Because when people think of idols, they only think of people like our Catholic, like me, that we believe in certain things. But idolizing people, like breathing souls, could be idolizing your partner, your loved one, your boss, your whomever. And that's a really, really good point. This is why she's a public speaker. So if you're there and you're looking for a public speaker, she's excellent. So Angélica, una de las cosas que dice aquí nuestra hermana Marisol es que a veces nosotros hacemos ídolos humanos. No estoy hablando de las creencias que tenemos algunos de nosotros católicos, ¿verdad? Estoy hablando de ídolos humanos, de cuando uno mira a una persona y esa persona uno la ve como que casi es Papa Dios. Hay que tener cuidado con eso. I love that. I just love that you have made that distinction because it happens all the time. So you made this person.
I made this person God. You know, I made that person God. And when that person, God removes that person or thing or whatever that you have put before him, watch out. It's like the floor was taken away from you. It's like lifted away. And I came to a place that he was showing me. And I said, okay, God, I'm going to surrender it all. I want you to take it all. Take my marriage, take my family, take everything that's come before you. Do what you got to do in me, in my heart. Okay? Because I don't want to lose that connection that I have with you. Because I know that he brought me from that miry clay, from the dirt where I came, to make me to who I am today. And he's real in my life. And that journey he did. Well, guess what? He did what he had to do. 2017.
So, en el 2017, Marisol, cuéntanos un poquito, ¿qué sucede? ¿Te das cuenta de que tienes un ídolo que no debe de ser tu ídolo? Te arrastras del dolor, tu vida cambia completamente, ¿verdad?
Sí, completamente.
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 Entonces te invitan a una iglesia.
No, lo que pasó de eso, well, you want me to do it in English and you do the Spanish? Or...
No, las dos ahí.
Las dos, mira, ese tiempo, cuando yo estaba pasando por eso, mi salud no estaba bien. Perdí en 2018, January, perdí mi trabajo. El tiempo no tenía dinero por 5 o 6 semanas. Después perdí mi perrito. 2 semanas después perdí mi hermano de 42 años, que yo fui en New Britain, era un coach, lo llaman Coach Marco, era un legend aquí en New Britain, for the youth, for the Boys and Girls Club aquí en New Britain. We went to un game, a tournament aquí en New Britain. Saw it for the first time because I never saw him play. After that, I gave him a kiss. I was going on the highway. My brother called and said, come. He had a heart attack. Come. So, de eso pasó eso. We lost a brother, 42. Unexpected. Okay? Health wasn't good, but unexpected. Después de eso, perdí mi carro. Después de eso, perdí mi casa. Después de eso, Dios sacó todo, pero Dios poquito a poquito me lo trajo para atrás. Pero era un tiempo que yo dije, Señor, tú estás conmigo. Señor, no importa lo que sea, tú eres everything. You're my all and all. And you will always be my all and all. Because he took friends away. He took people that I thought would be there for me, were not there for me, because he wanted me to be there. He was going to get the glory. He was going to get the honor for what he's doing in my life and what he's done. So I could be a light for the people that are hopeless, that they can't do it. Because you're right, we can't do it. But with him, we could do all things in Jesus Christ.
Woo! I hear the banging on that table.
Hallelujah. Gloria a Dios.
So you are ready. You already have some engagement from the audience. Carmen Cotto, did it happen overnight? I think you just answered that. It didn't, right?
No, it didn't happen overnight. My situation, I've had obstacles for 13 years on and off. But when it came overnight, those things, it took 7 to 8 months. But I had experienced a deep relationship already with him. This was the ultimate, that he brought me through a time that I never, ever, 3 years ago. And that was the beginning of my faith. My faith, it was rising more and more with him. I knew that I needed to hold to the rock. I knew he was my foundation. I knew from the depth of my heart that nobody or nothing will get the credit, only him, because of where he's brought me from. And he could do it. If he did it for me, he could do it for you too, because he is no respecter of man.
Uf, está la cosa caliente aquí con Marisol. Está la cosa caliente aquí con Marisol. La razón por que yo invité a Marisol no es por religión, sino es porque el espíritu de ella me mueve. And sometimes people talk about God, but when you see how they navigate the world, you go, you're mistreating others, you're ignoring others, you're lying to others. Marisol es transparente como la agüita.
Qué linda.
Transparente como la agüita. What you see is what you get. So if you want energy, you call sunshine. You call sunshine. Faith always increases, but I find it very interesting that we forget, se nos olvida siempre, que in the times, and this is what we're going to talk about, how you get to gratitude.
Yes.
And these times right now, where everything is being thrown at us, right? Where our loved ones are dying, you had to say goodbye to your mom out of this horrific disease.
Yes.
And I called you and you were consoling me. That lives with me. Oh. Do you remember this conversation?
I sure did. Lily. This year, COVID 2020, and I'm going to be, again, it's real. 2020 has been so different for a lot of people. I knew when I came into 2020, with COVID, I wasn't going to come out the same way I went in. I came in when we all got to stay home, I said, okay, God, it's time to clean house. And not just cleaning my kitchen, my bathroom, my bedroom, cleaning inside. Doing some work, cleansing, pruning, purging, repenting. He has to humble us in different ways. And he has to show us if we seek him, we need to really want it and want change, because we cannot do it. It's a choice. We all have a choice. It's not forced on you. And that through this COVID, again, my job, because I do PCA work, the client that I was with, I've been with her for 2 years. Well, it was on hold.
So for those of you who don't know, Marisol, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I don't want anybody to not leave with the beauty of your story. Okay. Is a personal care assistant. So this means somebody trusts you with their loved one day in and day out, because they're not able to do certain things. So you are in the most intimate, and I used to be one too. So I remember those. You cry, you suffer with them, you worry about them, because we've had this conversation when you're not with them. You're putting your life at risk also, because you're in a population that we have been told is high risk. What happens?
Well, after that, what happened, her children said, it's time, let's put it on hold, because again, COVID, this is their loved one. And so that job at that time was on hold. I had another job with my sister, which that ended 4 months after. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm not going to take a new client on. I'm going to take time for self, and let's see, I'm going to trust you. You brought me 2 years ago, 3 years ago from the worst thing when I didn't have anything. I'm going to trust you through this. Well, through that time, I got into a deeper relationship with him, deeper than ever, and just being in his presence, worshiping. But through all that, again, no job, no money for weeks. I had to apply for unemployment, partial. They could only give me partial. Had to wait through that. But through that process, like you said, my mom was in a convalescent home here in Autumn Lake in New Britain. And what do? I see her for Mother's Day. And then all of a sudden we get a call that week that she is in COVID unit. From that week, the week after, she's in bad place. They brought her to New Britain General Hospital, Central Hospital there. And all we could do, because again, you cannot go there at that time in May. You cannot go and hug them. You cannot go and kiss them. You cannot say your goodbyes only through a camera. And I thankful and I'm grateful that there was a camera, that we did have this iPhone at this time to use that and for that opportunity to walk through it. My siblings said their goodbyes a couple days prior. I had to go all the way to the end. I said, Lord, I was there with her. You're going to give me the strength that to go through, to see my mom going through those times. It's a hard place to see. It's something that you would not recommend nobody, but because she is your mother, you got to go to the end and hold. But I knew because I have a relationship with her where she was going to go. That's the beauty. My relationship with my mom was so loving and know what the future. This is not where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. This is just temporary. Eternal is in heaven with my God. And I know that someday I will see her again. And that's where the joy, that's where the gratitude comes in, because God has shown me that. And to be able to do a funeral for her and have it so beautifully done and be able to have others being there and witness what God, a love letter that God has given me to speak in her funeral and share with the passion and the love how God saw his beautiful daughter and where he was bringing to her and what she did here on earth and what a light for others, the joy. I saw not what happened, but I rejoice of where she is now with no pain, no agony, no more suffering, but eternal life with her King.
Yo les tengo que decir que a Marisol está contando la experiencia, ¿verdad? Ay, mami, bendición, mi mami está por ahí. Vicky Toro, que me hace mucha falta que me hacía. Mamita, Dios te bendiga a ti y a tu familia. Marisol nos cuenta que a pesar de todo lo que ha pasado, COVID le dio a ella, le dio duro, le quitó a su mami. Pero su fe, su entendimiento y su intimidad en la relación con su mami y que las dos eran espirituales y las dos entendían, ella se sentía como que su mamá se iba a un lugar maravilloso, el jardín de Dios, maravilloso, donde no iba a sufrir más, donde no iba a sentir estos dolores que le dan a uno a través de cualquier enfermedad, especialmente esta que estamos confrontando ahora que la conocemos tan poco. Lo fascinante de esto para mí, si me permiten, es que yo llamo a Marisol. Marisol, y este es mi tono. Marisol, ¿cómo estás? Mi amor, yo estoy bien, aleluya, muy bien, qué lindo que tú me llamas. Y yo decía, o a ella le falta la pastilla o yo no me bebí la mía. Una de las dos nos falta la pastillita. Y ella me estaba consolando a mí, hablándome de lo lindo que había sido la experiencia de ella a pesar de todo esto. So it's so touching when you meet someone like Sunshine. Marisol's her legal name, but we call her Sunshine.
Yes.
That says to you, I have no worries, I have no concerns. And she was consoling me. And that took me a couple of weeks. I was like, did this really happen? Did I call this sister to say my condolences? And she just, I'm okay. My mom is in a better place. Are you okay? I was not sure what to say. I was like, I think so. So she was consoling me, to be honest with you, because it took me a minute. It took me a minute. So how do you keep yourself? Now we established you've lost a lot in your life. Life is not perfect, not for any of us. COVID has taken a lot away from you as well. Money has been tight. You have donated to my mission. You have like piled stuff in my front yard that is incredible. You volunteer with me at the urban ministry. You go, you want to serve food. You get so excited about doing that. How do you maintain yourself living in gratitude? Please share with our audience. How do you do that?
Again, it's that relationship that I have with God first and foremost. Just again, going back of where he's taken me from. Every morning I get up and I say, Lord, thank you for the air I breathe. Thank you for life. Thank you for my family. And again, give him thanks of everything I have. Then I go and I start putting worship, and I just start hearing some music and worshiping, just filling the atmosphere with his presence and finding time, because we all need some time, quality time for ourselves and for him, and just quiet and being still, and so we could hear and listen, and just time with him and being in his presence. And even reading a devotion, scripture, even if you start 5 minutes a day or whatever it is, just taking time and then asking God. This is what I say. Okay, God, what can I do for you today? Who can you send me that I could be an encourager, that I could just a hug, a smile, a thank you? Who can I help today, Lord? Because it's not about me. It's about others. There's so many people hurting in this world. When I get off myself, you know how rewarding that is? Because we all have issues. We all do. But are we going to sit in those issues, in those circumstances, or we're going to make a difference on somebody else? The more you think of somebody else, guess what? That problem becomes so little. You won't even think that problem, because you feel so good about giving a smile, reading a word to the elderly, go visiting in the hospital, convalescent homes when they do open, being a light in this dark place, giving, loving, caring, giving when you have. And you know what? Giving could be not just monetary. Like I said, a hug. You could be in a McDonald's line and buy the person behind you, hey, I'll buy for their meal. Here's $20, whatever. Do something special. Do something caring. Just like I said, you taking out the garbage, sweeping the floor, doing something, and just saying, what would the Lord do? Washing somebody's feet. Wash it with love and humility. Not because you have to, because you want to. You want to make a difference to somebody. And no, we all need somebody. It could be saying, hey, Lily, your hair is beautiful. You look so beautiful today. You know how special that compliment will give somebody that day? Somebody could be hurting. We don't know what people are going through in their homes, in their children, in their marriages, in their jobs, in their finances. I know that God has taken care of me. He will supply. He'll send the people that have it. You know what? He's my king, and I'm his kid. I'm the princess. I'm his princess. And I know he's got my back.
Woo, man. I want to challenge some of us and how we think. People always say to me, Lydia, you are crazy, or Lily, as most people know me. What is this faith business? And so here's how I say it to people who have never had an experience as deep as Marisol or others, or, we express it differently. I'm like, you wake up every morning hoping to breathe. You wake up every morning hoping you can have that cup of warm whatever. May that be, for me, is coffee. Don't talk to me before coffee. It's my cognitive is impaired. I swear to you. You're hoping that when you put the key into your car, it starts. You're hoping that everything that has to happen, the lights are working, that your job will still be there. You're hoping. Another language for some of us is we have faith that those things will happen. So don't get stuck on the language. Don't get stuck on religion. Don't get stuck is the main thing. find your journey. You can have devotions. I work with someone, or I have the privilege of spending space with someone, and you have met her, and Sister Beth. And she said to me one of the most wonderful things. She says, every day when I go home, I think of, where did I see God today?
Beautiful.
Where did I see God today? And that could be as simple as, I saw Marisol come out of her car and walk over here to serve our brothers and sisters who need some food today. That's where I saw him, saw her. Some people argue it's a her. Whatever you believe, that is what faith looks like to me. It's trusting that things are going to take place, although I'm not in charge of them. Although if my car doesn't work, I'm going, honey, we have a problem. And my brain always thinks, okay, maybe I can catch the bus. How long would it take to catch the bus? Maybe I can get there. So all of those thoughts and that peace that comes in there every day, that's another way. You might have more faith than you think you have, right? And hoping that things happen the way they're supposed to happen. The difference is that when they don't happen the way that they should have, some of us have a place to go so we can cry and scream and go, what the world is going on? Somebody explain it to me. And there's not always an explanation. Marisol, you are definitely, eres una de las personas que cuando tú te sonríes, yo me sonrío, aún te estás riendo de mí, which is mantenerte en fe y ser positivo es saber que todos los días, y le digo esto a todo el mundo, la gente me dice, Lili, ¿qué es eso de la fe? ¿Estás loca? ¿Te has vuelto religiosa? ¿Qué es lo que te está pasando a ti, chica? ¿Qué locura es la tuya? Es la fe que tú tienes, que vas a respirar todos los días, de que tus hijos van a estar bien, de que tu vehículo va a encender, de que vas a poder ir a trabajar, de que todas las luces pues, van a estar donde van a estar. Esa es otra forma de expectativas de fe, ¿verdad? Tú tienes fe que no te roben el dinero en el banco, ¿verdad? Tú tienes fe de que tus hijos van a llegar a tu casa todos los días, ¿verdad? Eso es la fe, ¿verdad? De saber que tenemos expectativas de que las cosas van a caminar todos los días, ¿verdad? Y para muchos de nosotros como que nos enfocamos en, ay, no, yo no soy religioso. Ay, no me hable de esa vaina a mí, que esos son chorre locos allá danzando y bailando y yo no sé qué hacen aquellos y los otros, que si mira, que si hacen así. Ay, no, chorre loco. Por todas partes están locos. El mensaje aquí es gratitud. How you're talking about, you wake up this every morning with this feeling of gratitude. How often have people looked at you and go, man, you're just nuts?
Yes, a lot of times. They can't figure it. They say in the morning, why you got so much energy? What's happening? I mean, okay, one step down. It's in me. It's just natural because, again, he lives inside of me. And this excitement of joy and love and caring and helping and just living life, in different way of even when I don't have. And like I said, I just wake up and say, okay, Lord, send me somebody your way. Today's a new day. I don't know what's going to happen. And trust me, it's not the way we go. Sometimes some things are going to, your car, you're going to get stuck. Something. Okay. All right, Lord, what do you want me to do? Okay. I need you. And I'm being real with him. Okay, God. All right. You got to take care of this because I don't know how. All right. And that's it. You have to, like I speak with you or a friend speaks, we need to be real with him. He wants to know the little tiniest things, not just the big problems. Talk to him when the good times and the bad times. Walk with him. You got to walk with them and just take him to the store, take him shopping. All right, Lord, do I really need this shirt, this blouse? Do I really need this dress? Or do I want it? Okay. Well, a lot of times God will give you what you need. Not what you want. So his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts.
I'm glad he didn't answer some of my prayers, to be honest with you, because I would be in a big old mess if he answers some of mine.
So again, it's just, all right, you lead, you guide. And when I'm going ahead of him, I said, okay, bring me back slowly. because now I want to try to take control. Uh-oh, I see it. Thank you for showing it to me. And I thank you. He uses other people to help me. I need what you have and you need what I have. We need each other. I love Pastor Michelle Ruiz. She's putting together a talk show. Together we are one. You know what? It's to help other women reality show. It's about being real and raw like you are right now and dealing with situations. This month they're going to be doing on rejection. Well, hello. You know what? We need to be real in love and real situations and what we've gone through. We need to express. We need to talk. Everyone needs somebody. Everyone needs somebody.
So I have just put on the screen for all of you that don't know, this is Pastor Michelle Mercado Ruiz. She's always looking for a way. She is the coolest pastor you can meet. Okay, just like the coolest. Her husband and her have a bike. I mean, it's just, they're just like the coolest people in the world. And she's always looking for ways to teach, to share, to break bread. But again, coolest pastor in the world. Okay, plus she's a fox.
Yeah.
So hola, mi amor. Hola, mi amor. That's my daughter who's there. I love you too, sweetie. So that's Pastor Michelle Mercado Ruiz. She is at the Light of Hope Ministry, correct? Light of Hope Ministry. And you can check out her page. And she also does Tuesday nights. She does a Tuesday nights. I think it's a
Bible study Tuesday nights, and then worship night on Saturday nights. And again, this, stay tuned, because in December 6th, they're starting, like I said, that talk show. You got panelists. We have a few of us in the panelists.
I saw the pictures.
Yes, they're beautiful. Chumi, he is the bomb for photographer, boy.
He's one of the few photographers that takes pictures of me that don't scare me, that I don't look like this. So there's a plug for Chumi, right? That said, one of the things that I do want you to share with people, if you will, Marisol, is that life is never perfect by the definition of others. Is only perfect by your definition.
Yes. Okay. So, you know what? Life is not perfect. We're all imperfect. And I always say, okay, we're all imperfect, but perfected by him. So how you see yourself, I think sometimes even perfect, it's a strong word, like a perfectionist, or I think you're putting too much expectations, high expectations on you. And it's so much to carry. I think sometimes we do not to let go of that, because God is not looking for a perfectionist person. He created all us differently, and how you see yourself. And again, I think how you see yourself, it's how you put yourself, how you see yourself, like, okay, am I a perfectionist? Let me see I think you might understand this a little bit. Again, I think we're putting too much expectations on how we see ourselves in different ways. So I never say like I'm perfect or this and that. I just say, okay, Lord, thank you. How I see myself is how God sees me. But it took years to find this true me now, Lily, because I was in bondage. I was shy for years, and people can't believe it. I was shy. I was bullied in the school, young, so different things. I was low self-esteem, rejection, abandoned.
You were bullied?
Yeah. So
you got those names?
No.
Let's do it old school. Oh wait, Pastor Michelle is watching us. But you got those names? We know people that know people.
so I, coming from a shyness, and this was now like 7 years that he's been taking me out of more and more, with courage and stepping out, and okay, I need to deal with these things out of the fears and the insecurities, intimidation and all this. It's like, wait a second. I finally got it and getting it because I get coaches, people that have been an influence in my life, and, your mindset. I went to a 1099 mind shift by Coach Beverly Vaughn, evangelist and a teacher and entrepreneur. And I'm like, wait a second, it's how you see yourself at times.
So let me join you on that.
Okay, awesome.
One of the things that we do poorly y siempre digo esto, Debemos de buscar mentores en nuestras vidas en cualquier área en que uno está buscando. En este caso estamos hablando de tu relación con Dios o con tu espíritu o con tu vibra, lo que tú le llames, ¿ok? Mentores son extremadamente importantes porque sábelo todo está muerto. That's what I tell people all the time. If you know it all, it is time to die.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's really important to look at people as mentors. But I just want to clarify something.
Yes.
Is you can be a mentor and a teacher at the same time.
That is
You
correct.
can be a mentee and a teacher at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You will never finish growing.
That's right. That is so true. And this year with this COVID, Lily, it's true. You know, I started investing in myself. I said, Lord, you got to send me people my way, you know, that are going to help me grow, that they're going to encourage me. They're going to be there through the good times and the bad times, you know. So with the good and the bad, you
And
know,
the ugly.
you know, so I need people, divine people. They're going to help me and not tell me what I want to hear either. You know, sometimes we don't. And listen, if you really, I like to receive and then I bring it up to the Lord in prayer, you know, and you do. It's like, okay, God, is there any truth? But if you really know yourself and you look in that mirror, you know yourself that, yay, thank you, God, for confirming. Okay, now work with me. But thank you, the people that you are sending me to grow, to expand. And yes, I've gone to a place before and complacent, stagnant, you know, and it's time. Like somebody said it. You said it. You said it to me a week or 2 weeks ago when you say, Marisol, why aren't you calling me? I said, well, Lily, I work 10 to 1 and your show, 10 to 3, your show. No, Marisol, we changed it to Monday nights at 7. Oh my God, okay. So let's set up a date. And you know what? And this is true. I said, okay, God, a purpose. What is my purpose in life? You know, Lord, what is my purpose? And it's for your kingdom. It's winning people to you, God. It's for others, loving, helping, caring. You know, your heart, God. Your heart here on earth.
Not convincing. That's the difference. We don't try to convince anybody.
And you can't force nothing on no one either. You can't, what you see implemented somebody else. It doesn't work that way. People already know their obstacles, their problems. Some people, you don't need to beat them up with they already deal with certain things. Let the Holy Spirit move, because you be a light to these people. There'll be a time when God will move in a mighty way, and all you need to do could be a hug and just pray for them, and that could be closer. But when you said that to me, and I'm like, somebody said, Marisol, your gift is talking. And I'm like, you're right. My gift is talking. Okay, so I need to enhance those areas. When I do conferences, when I've done these things, okay, God, now there's a revenue. Where can I make revenue? By speaking, God. So they told me, go to women's fellowship at churches. Go speak in public speaking. It could be companies that are looking to motivate and encourage their employees, because people are so burnt out that the CEOs or managers and supervisors don't see their staff, or even the top leaders don't take time to compliment and encourage their leaders and give them some benefit, like go away for the weekend, or give them some compensation to say, I appreciate you. Because without the people, they're nothing. You cannot do it alone. You cannot grow your company without your people. Your people matter. So,
you see this energy. Ven esta energía de ella. Ella siempre es así, lo que para mí es fascinante. Fascinante. Puse el nombre ahí, Elsie Esteves. Esa es mi mamá. Te amo y te adoro. My mom's faith, I have to tell you this. My mom's faith, I'll share this with you in the audience, has given me birth twice. La fe de mi mamá, que está aquí, que se llama Elsie, me ha dado la vida 2 veces. La fe de mi mamá, que no se rindió cuando yo estaba tan enferma que no podía ni bañarme ni reconocer lo que estaba pasando en mi vida. Fue la fe de mi mamá. quien echó a esta vaca para el frente. La fe de mi mamá.
Mm.
So we all come in all shapes and colors and sizes and all of that kind of stuff. So Marisol está disponible para ustedes que las quieran traer a ella, para que ella hable de su jornada, para que ella le hable a ustedes, para que puedan escuchar de verdad, porque esto es un tiempo cortito lo que ustedes están escuchando aquí. La vamos a traer más a menudo para que ella nos coja tópicos y nos hable. Ahora que está comenzando un programa allá con la pastora, yo voy a ser parte de esa audiencia, ya tú sabes, fiel. So, I do wanna, we always have a contest here, dándole la oportunidad a todo el mundo, ¿verdad? Que se lleve su dinerito, ¿verdad? Porque nada de mal hay con el dinerito. Después que sea de buena fe y limpio, right? Michelle, before we go on to our contest, which we always have, we always give out a gift.
You mean Marisol?
What did I say?
Michelle?
Ay, Dios mío.
You
Mira.
done it guys, it was so funny before. Today was first.
Ooh,
I know.
Energy. Ooh, that's bad.
Hi,
No,
Michelle.
She must be loving that at home.
Yes,
So, Marisol, if
Yeah.
you had advice to give someone tonight who is hurting, in pain, confused, I know we say go to God, but how
Right.
do I do that? How do I survive tonight?
Boy, this is very good. I'm glad you asked that question because I wanted to say that to you today. It's like, I know that the viewers that are watching, there might be somebody in a hospital, in their home, in the street, lost one. Who do we turn to? What do we say? And yes, like you say, going to God in prayer. There's a time in our life where we got to say, like I said, I know you say besides God, but God is it. God, to me, it's like I would pray and say, Lord, I need you. Help me because I can't do it alone. Send me somebody today. Even if it's a call or even if somebody in the street that they're looking for food, send them my way, Lord. I need you. I'm lost. I want my life to change, God. I need you to come into my life and change me from inside out. I know I've done mistakes in my life. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm hurting. I know I have unforgiveness in my heart for the people that hurt me intentionally and not intentionally. I've hurt. I've been persevered, and you're protecting yourself. I don't want to live life like this, God. I don't want to exist no more. So I just want you to do something different in me today. Show me that you're alive. Show me that you're real, because a lot of people don't believe in this world, so show me that you're alive. Come into my heart and change me from inside out. That God, the person that's helped Marisol, the friend, the father, the way she is, the way you helped her, help me, God. I want to be a light. I want life again. And let them, what I said today, let it be a prayer into your heart, because watch out. You will never be the same again. But reach out to a sister, a brother. If you don't have a brother, a friend, call. God will send somebody. You'll have somebody step out. Don't let pride stop you. Don't let pride. Just go pick up that phone. You need somebody. Look at Lily's right here. She will have connections that she'll send you. Michelle, resources. There are resources that you're not alone at this time. Stay encouraged. Don't give up. Don't quit. I always said, if you're going to fall forward. Don't look back. Get up and fight this race to the end.
And she does public speaking. So you just got a little bit of what she can do with your team and your groups. You can do it now virtually through Zoom. She can do that for you. Get a group together, sisters, brothers, or whoever, and you want to listen more about this message. register with her. We will help her sell the tickets because I think it's important. She likes to do everything for free. I have a problem with that. I do a lot of stuff for free, but there's certain things you need to buy materials and so on and so forth.
And it's
Para todos ustedes que están aquí, que prefieren hablar en español, le pido por favor oraciones y muchas oraciones para Angélica García y para su familia. Angélica en estos momentos está recaudando fondos o recaudando cositas que ella pueda enviar para Honduras. Ella nos va a enviar una lista a través de mi mano derecha, Wanda Ehlers. Ashley, te extrañamos mucho. Sé que que estás en Puerto Rico y probablemente estás viendo el programa. Te extrañamos muchísimo. Queremos escuchar de ti. So, si usted lo tiene en su corazón y quiere hacerle ese regalito a Angélica García, de nuevo, ha perdido un ser humano a través de un huracán, y para nosotros que somos latinos, sabemos que nuestros países han sido desbaratados y lo hemos visto. Desde Puerto Rico a México, a Perú, ahora presentando Honduras, los hemos visto a través global. En estos momentos lo hemos visto en el mundo asiático. So, por favor, si tienen en su corazón hacer algo, comuníquense con Angélica. De otra forma se pueden comunicar con Wanda Ehlers, a Lili Sin Barreras, y ella con mucho gusto puede hacer el vínculo. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So if you find it in your heart and you want to do something for Angelica, who lost everything, her family, one of her sisters, and the hurricane in Honduras, keep her in your prayers. And also, if you want to make a donation to her family, you can do that. She's right here with us. Ella es fiel al programa. She still is in faith. Es una hermana que uno tiene que querer, es una hermanita. Para mí es una hermanita que uno tiene que querer mucho. Y siempre estamos en las mismas. Nosotros siempre, Marisol, you're going to come back, right?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay, cool. So, esta noche, como siempre, usted se puede llevar un regalo. El de esta noche es de $50. A ver, pero va a ser Marisol la que tiene que escoger. I love it when I don't have to be the bad guy or the good guy, ¿verdad? So, tengo 3 preguntas. Quien me las pueda contestar se lleva los $50. ¿Cuál es el apodo de Marisol? ¿Cuál es el apodo de Marisol? ¿Cuál es el apodo de Marisol? La segunda es, ¿qué hace Marisol en el mundo del trabajo laboral? Y la tercera, ¿qué es lo más que le gusta de Marisol? Porque mira, yo no sé si yo puedo dormir hoy con toda esta energía. Marisol's giving me all this energy. I don't know. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. I may have to get on the train. So if you can answer those 3 questions, what are they, Marisol? What's Marisol's nickname? You heard me say it a couple of times. What else? What does Marisol do for a living? And what do you like best of Marisol in this interview? So start typing and you can take home $50. Don't forget that you also are welcome on Lili Sin Barreras. If you want to share your story, have a topic you want to share, it has to be one that talks about removing barriers. That's why Marisol is here, because she has been removing barriers forever. She's learned from her journey. She's sharing her journey with others, men, women, adolescents. Yeah. I have to tell you, I don't discuss with my guests anything, right, Marisol? Anything prior to a show. I just do a testing, so you know when you're coming in and you're going out, and what signals I give you, so there's a question. I do not police my guest. They know what I stand for, and they are invited because of that. So I don't interview people or talk to them for 20 minutes about what their topic is going to be, because then I find that is not organic. Right. And I don't want to manipulate what comes out of anybody's mouth. That's not good. No good. ¿Quién me dice qué es lo que hace? ¿Cómo le decimos a Marisol? Está en su nombre. ¿Cómo le decimos a Marisol? ¿Quién me dice? ¿Cómo le decimos a Marisol? Está en su nombre. ¿Cómo le decimos a Marisol? ¿Qué hace Marisol en su trabajo? ¿Qué tipo de trabajo tiene Marisol? ¿Y qué es lo más que le ha gustado de Marisol? Y se lleva $50, los cuales se los hacemos llegar a ustedes siempre. Todas las noches con nosotros. Ah, Sol, Sunshine,
Yeah.
number one. There's Margarita. No
Yes.
se olviden de los flanes. For any of you who wants to have flan like you've never tasted before, Margarita Gonzalez is right here. Place your order. I am telling you, it is the best thing you are going to ever taste. I've traveled a bit. I've, got them from many places, but Margarita has, boom, de calabaza, de coco y de queso. Si estoy mal, me avisan. Pero aquí mismito pueden hacer su orden. We share everything about everybody that wants to hear. A ver, ¿quién me dice? Hola, John. Dios te bendiga. Hola, Edwin. Dios te bendiga. Mogolloma, te queremos muchísimo. Michelle, you know we care about you. Sarah Simpson, thank you for joining us. Rebecca Slater, thank you for joining us. And 7 other people who I cannot see in my comments. Thank you for joining us. Haha, cheese, cocoa, and vanilla.
Oh.
Oh, she wanted me to say it in English. Haha.
Okay.
Okay. So it looks like going once, going twice, going 3 times. So giving you guys a minute, I want to read you something talking about inspiration, right? We have a sister who I continue to read some of the stuff that she is giving me to inspire. And then I get people who write things to me. But I found this sister who nope, that's not it. Who she sent me something, and it was last week, and I thought, oh, I'll save it for Marisol's show. You see how that goes? Marisol's show. All right, and it says like this. Dear Lily, I don't always understand when you speak in Spanish, but that's okay. I love your show. I love the energy. I love that you're not afraid to talk about God. I am concerned, however, that not many people know how valuable it is to have a relationship with a higher power. I am not a Christian. I do not believe, hold on to your seats, on God. I believe on the power of universe. But every time I see your show and you mention the God, I think that we may be talking to the same force. Love, Janice.
Wow.
I think is beautiful that Janice wanted to write that. I think what I hear from Janice and my heart hears is that she's okay. She's okay, and that she's feeling love, and that our fights are never about what we call it. Right?
Correct.
That's not our fight. Ok, lo que me gusta, dicen por ahí, lo que me gusta de ella es su sonrisa y con el espíritu que habla.
Wow.
Sol, her faith that things will get better. I think she's a minister or she is a leader. That's a guest.
Yeah. I received
such an incredible being. Helped my faith tonight.
Wow. Praise God.
Está caliente, está caliente. So, and it looks like that's the winner. What did you say, Michelle?
Yes.
I called you Michelle again. Michelle, get out of my head. What the world? What the world, Michelle? You look beautiful too, baby. So that's our winner. Sol, her faith.
Yep.
Things will get better. I think she's a minister or a leader. They're guesses, she said.
Yeah.
But guess what you're presenting already? Leadership, ministry.
Yes, right. It's already, it's being seen. It's you're walking. I'm walking in it. Leader. So yes, leadership.
And she says, helped my faith tonight.
That is beautiful. Praise.
You did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
You did it.
I wish you, as always, the best. I know we're going to see each other very soon.
Yes.
I hope that everybody who is celebrating Thanksgiving if you do celebrate Thanksgiving or you just spend time with your loved ones, be cautious, be careful, love one another, sometimes at a distance, depending. We're frontliners. Marisol is a frontliner. I'm a frontliner. Be careful, and find a safe way to congregate with people. Wear your mask. I just showed you a picture of a sister who was called to the heavens way, way too young. Please, if you don't do it for you, do it for my family, do it for others. Please, please. My table, I know that we're going to be grateful for all we have been able to do this year, although COVID has tried very, very much. And we've seen some ugly things, but Lord, have we seen some beautiful things.
Right.
We can testify to the beauty of humanity when we all get together.
Amen. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're coming back.
Yes.
By public demand, by the way.
Yes. Yes. I'm excited.
Rebecca Slater says, and the best friend ever. Love you, Marisol.
Oh,
See you soon.
oh, Rebecca. Love you, Rebecca.
We love you all. Hope to see you next Monday. We are extending your video.
Awesome.
Do of what happened. Send in your video. Tell me who you admire with pictures and be okay with it being shown here. And it will be by the end of November. I hope to see you guys very soon. Let me know if you need anything from us, and this tribe will always be your tribe. God bless you. See you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.